on how every entrepreneur can triple their revenue in a few months. There is a process. There are things to understand, concept to grasp, and things that you can apply to your business. But you got to understand those things first, because I can give you the process. The problem is that if you do not have the right foundation, if you do not have the right system set up in place, the system that I'm going to share with you is not going to work. So what you have to understand first is that if your business is built, and your business should be built on different revenue line. The thing is, if your business is solely built on energy, kind of like energy-based revenue, which means like, hey, I got a cold call, I got a prospect, which is totally cool. I'm doing that thing as well. The thing is, if you're only focusing on building your business that way, you're creating a machine that requires you to invest energy all the time. And that's great because it costs you nothing. The only problem with that is whenever you want to scale, the only way for you to do that is either to take more time out of your day, spend more energy, or to pay people to actually spend the energy for you. And sometimes we may think that's, you can spend your time elsewhere. You can maybe try to do some more profitable avenues and reach out to new things with your business. But sometimes I know that you get stuck because you get all that prospecting to do and all those things that you got to deal with, all those customers you got to follow up. And that's great. That's better than nothing. The thing is, sometimes you maybe have to find a different avenue. And one of the best avenues, one of the best ways that you can take some real estate, and that's something that I'm going to share with you guys, that's really a lost art. That's something that really was lost during the last depression. So what I mean by that is that before 2008, before that time, people were really like doing like presentations, like seminars, things like we know them right now as webinars. But before 2008, there were like a lot of businesses were based on that. And they were public speakers and all those guys that were trying to sell people their solutions. And people were making like multiple 6-7 figures doing that because they knew how to sell to the masses. Selling to the masses is different than selling one-on-one, because whenever I'm selling one-on-one, I can identify what are your objections, what you are trying to get rid of, what is the thing, the pain point that you are having. I can do that. The thing is, whenever I'm trying to sell to multiple people, I cannot do that. I have to handle specific objections and I have to understand my audience beforehand. So there is much more homework to do. But the advantage of that is that whenever you are able to actually understand how to do it, you can actually do something pretty interesting, which is the time I was talking about, the problem of time investment. If you're able to spend the time that you will be able to spend with 1 or 2 customers, and you can actually make a presentation that you present to, I would say, like, let's say 1,000 people, and you close only 10% of them, which is really possible. If you only close 10% of the people, which means you will close 100 people in that situation, in the same amount of time that you will be able to present to 2 or 3 customers, maybe. If I could share with you a way to do that, how would you guys be interested? Because that's really the thing that can happen if you are able to public speak, to sell one to many. Now, the good news is that today we don't really have to be physically presenting from stage, and that's even more, like, even truer. I don't know if that's a real word, but that's even more relevant because of the whole COVID crisis that we had, and pretty much every event started to go from, okay, physical event to online events. So that's even more relevant. And people are making mad money with that. Those are really the big money-making events, guys, because whenever you are able to take that short amount of time compressed and you are able to present to multiple people at a time, all of a sudden, and you can even make some automations to make the process easier for you and less time consuming, it can bring you more money and way more time, and way more money, by the way. So that's extremely important that you grasp that concept of one-to-many selling first. And another thing I want to talk about is that people actually often say like, hey, like, I like the concept, Gabriel, but I'm not really that good at getting on camera. I'm not really good at, making live videos like you and things like this. And I'm with you, and I understand. Like, and I'm going to ask you something. If you have like 5 minutes after this live episode, go check out my YouTube channel and find out the first video I did. And then crack a laugh Go back and see what happened since then. The thing is, you gotta understand that whenever I started out making like live videos, even like just making videos, first you gotta understand that English is not my first language. So okay, that's a bit of a leap to do. I was in high school studying to create all that content because I knew that I really related to the English to American like way of thinking, that way of thinking that you can be better, that you can find like that you can be more than what you are right now, and really connected with that purpose, that thing. And the problem was that in my environment, I'm not saying that in France is the case specifically, but specifically in my environment, I didn't found that. So all of a sudden, because I kind of knew how to talk English a bit, I attached it to, I'm going to make content in English because that's going to prep the way, my way out for me to be able to, like go live in the US in English speaking countries so I can actually live the life that I really want. And so I started to publish content. Now, the problem was that whenever I started to make content, I wasn't that good first. And second, like, you gotta understand that specifically in France, like, not a lot of people know how to properly talk English. Maybe in my class, like, on 30 people, like, like, I guess, like, for you guys like that are living out in other country, maybe it's a bit different for you. But in class, like in high school, we have like classes of maybe 30 people max. And in those 30 people, maybe you got like 4 people that have good grades in English, like for real, that really know how to talk English. But in those 4 people, maybe 1, maximum 2 actually know how to have a conversation. The other 2 just know are just good at getting grades, but they don't really know how to carry a conversation. So I was one of those guys. But the reason like that I'm telling you this story is because I was laughed at every single day when I was going to school. I was like laughed at. What the fuck are you doing there? What is that all about? What are you trying to do? People are talking behind my back. I knew it, but the thing is, I kept creating content. And to be honest, for 1-2 years, I really sucked. I wasn't as eloquent. I wasn't as at ease with the camera and all those things. But the thing is, after some time, I really realized that, man, it's just about like fucking practicing. And the fact that those people were talking to me badly, saying things to me, mean things to me, and that fueled me up. And that really powered me up to make sure that I was able to deliver the content I wanted to deliver to you guys. And I wanted to do that. So the thing is, I used this as fueled, and ultimately I was able to get like to understand more my niche, understand more how I can serve my people, and ultimately I was able to publish content on a daily basis and do things like that without being like, oh, I'm gonna make a webinar, I gotta make a presentation, I gotta make a live video. Now I'm just like, okay, let's roll. But the thing is, at the beginning, you gotta understand it was really difficult for me. Anybody can do it, and even if I don't seem to be an introvert, I wouldn't say I'm an introvert, but for some amount of time in my life, I was really timid and shy, because I don't believe there are such things as introvert. I think it's a choice that you are making in order to live the life you want to live it. But the thing is, if you started as somebody that's shy or that's not comfortable with a camera, don't worry. Neither you of us, or you are like born with a freaking camera on our faces. So that's just an habit to take on. Oh, Gabriel, I don't have enough muscles. Like, this seems difficult. Yes, at first, after a few years of working out, you're like, damn, those gains. Same thing with a camera. In the beginning, oh, man, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, my videos suck. Okay, keep doing it for 1 or 2 years, and I guarantee you that you will see the results, and you will be like, oh, damn, I'm glad I did this choice because that opened me a whole new area of things that I can do right now. So don't scare away of doing those things, grabbing those opportunities, not being scared of being the face of the company because you are scared of going to camera, because you can overcome it. Like, if you're here listening to this video, watching this video, or listening to this podcast, you went through a lot of things and you survived them. So you gotta understand that whatever things that came at you, like bad things, you were able to handle them. And that's exactly going to be the same thing here. So don't make a big deal of it. I guarantee you will be able to overcome it. I promise you. Now, guys, another thing that you gotta understand, if you really want to make sure that you bring that revenue. By the way, if you guys like this, if you do like this, make sure that you share the podcast with somebody that's interested in growing their businesses, because there is another thing I want to talk to you guys about, is that the fact that I hear a lot of people like, okay, Gabriel, I believe I can do it. I believe that this is the way for me to actually grow my business. Now, one thing I don't know how to do is how to run traffic. I don't want to pay for traffic, and I will, okay, I may be able to make the effort to make a webinar presentation, but I don't know how to like get people on watching my thing. I get it. And that's the thing that happened to most of us. At the beginning, you just gotta commit and you just gotta do it again and again and again. And to be honest, guys, one thing that happened really recently, I would say since, well, February now, so maybe 2 months ago, one of the things that I really realized was the way I was making content wrong. I wasn't making content the right way at the right frequency. I wasn't making it the right proper way to get enough people to see me and, to get to the next level of my business. And I didn't grasp the thing that how can I make it work? How can I make sure I reach out people and I actually solve their problems? And how can I do that in a consistent way? I wasn't able to find a solution until I really understood after some time of publishing content and what was the right method on, okay, what's the right frequency? What's the right format that I need to use? How can I make sure I make as much of those working pieces of content in as less of a time as possible? And what that epiphany, that discovery helped me to do is actually, guys, I think my channel has been out for 4 years now, maybe 5, close on 5. In 2-3 years, like I did like something along the lines of like 4,000 views maximum, like I think it's 3,800, like not a lot, What's funny is that whenever I started posting the way I'm posting right now in January, now I just like basically in like a month or 2, I doubled the views that took me like years to get. But right now, if I check the stats, I think I've got like maybe around like more than maybe 10,000 views or around the things like that. So it took me like 1 or 2 months to actually like more than do double the amount of view that took me like 2-3 years before that to do. Just to tell you guys that there are 3 ways to create content, to run traffic. Creating content is one of them. You can build relationship with other people, going on other people's stages, podcasts, promoting your products. Those are 3 ways to run traffic. You can also run ads, but don't use it as an excuse to not make your business grow, because you can do it. You can truly do it. You just got to make sure that you commit, and you got to make sure that you try to understand how it works, but you can definitely do it.